The Alley Theater in downtown Houston is the oldest professional theater company in all of Texas. Founded by high school theater teacher Nina Vance in 1947, it started in a small studio located at the end of a long brick alleyway on Main Street, giving the site its enduring and succinct moniker, the Alley Theater. It later moved to an abandoned factory in 1949 before establishing its permanent state-of-the-art home on Texas Avenue in 1968. This Tony Award-winning theater has an annual budget of over $10 million. This bestows the means to mount up to 12 unique productions a year, totaling nearly 500 performances each season. The Alley actually houses two different theaters: the Hubbard Theater, with a 774-seat capacity, and the smaller Newhouse Theater, that includes 296 seats for a more intimate theatrical experience. The theater company is also home to a Center for Theater Production, perched on the 15th floor of the adjacent building. One of the largest of its kind in the United States, this massive 75,000 square foot center houses spaces for creating sets, costumes, props, wigs, as well as 3 rehearsal studios, offices, a boardroom, a staff cantina, a script library, and an archive. The Alley's longevity means that it has been witness to several eras, evolutions, and events. Some of those events were just as dramatic as any of the productions seen on its stages. From tropical storms to hurricanes to pandemics, the Alley has weathered them all. During both Tropical Storm Allison and Hurricane Harvey, the Alley Theater sustained millions of dollars in damage to the theater's facilities, equipment, and decades worth of props. Recovering was a difficult process, as community members, as well as staff, were emerging from their own crises, having lost homes and personal belongings themselves. During the COVID-19 pandemic, after the critically acclaimed premiere of 1984, the Alley was forced to shut its doors. As with many theaters across the nation, the shuttering of the company resulted in unemployment, not just for actors, but also for the extensive industry of skilled artisans and technicians that support them. So how does a theater not only manage to survive, but to thrive after such drama? Well, the Alley has a secret to its success. It's not just about the stage, it's about community. The community behind the Alley Theater.
Every single person in the Alley Theater it takes to do a show that you might not see, marketing, folks, across the way on the different building. It takes all of us.
The caliber of staff that we have working here, all of our departments are incredibly talented artists and craftspeople and technicians that are very skilled at their job.
We actually have a big meeting where we sit in the project room and we all go around the table and talk about everything we are doing every single day. So we know on Monday, scenery is doing this, props is doing this, lighting is doing this, sound is doing this, so that we can coordinate how we are moving around the space and keep each other safe while we're doing that.
And after that meeting, we get started. We go right to work. We do a lot of close collaboration with props, especially when it comes to if they're working on a bar, let's say, on a set, and we're working on the floor and the walls around that bar, but they want it to coordinate. We might show them the paint treatment we've done on the walls so that it coordinates with the paint treatment they end up doing on the bar. We do backdrops and they hang on the wall and we paint them 30 to 40 feet in the air on a lift.
And working with wardrobe, especially when we use wireless mics on actors, working with them to make sure that they know the size of the pack. We talk about sort of how do we rig the microphone. Are there hats or wigs or a lot of heavy, quick costume changes that will sort of dictate how we rig these mics?
When you see somebody lit just perfectly or a timing thing come up just perfectly, those are our programmers in conjunction with our lighting designer making that happen.
How many people actually have a hand in creating that costume, from cutting, draping, figuring out what it needs to be. Distressing with our crafts department is really important. There's a lot of thought put into it.
Our wig department is fantastic. Amy Solomon is our wig supervisor. She essentially is building many wigs from scratch, and the wigs are phenomenal to the point where you really can't even tell oftentimes that they are wigs. And even if you're up front, face to face with an actor, it might look like their real hair. It's a really incredible work.
The work we do here is really sort of big and beautiful and well crafted.
I really enjoy our team of people. It's so much fun to collaborate with them and see everybody's creativity, and it's a huge team effort.
It's a very well supported and friendly place to work.
We have a really diverse group of actors and artists that come in. Our resident acting company is something that's really unique. Not a lot of theaters have them. We're one of the very last theaters in America to have a resident acting company. And I think it helps keep the alley really focused on community.
It takes the community and it takes our audience. We can't do theater without our community.
The alley has a great resource in its community and in its donors.
We're doing theater that matters, and that is a big part of theater for me, that I really want to see community involvement in what we do, and I think the alley really does that, so it really does feel like a whole home.
We work together as an entire company to produce these works that are for our community. And I think that community connection is very important, and it's one of the reasons I stay in theater, and one of the reasons I particularly wanted to work at the alley and at this theater in particular, is I really believe we are amplifying voices of our community on our stage. I think that's what makes the alley special.